So a DUI stop, whether it be for drugs or alcohol, will generally happen the exact same way. An officer will pull you over and they'll say you committed some infraction. It doesn't even have to be an infraction. It could just be a suspicious thing. Weaving inside of your lane is not a crime whatsoever. But to an officer, it becomes reasonable and articulable suspicion to pull you over to see if you're under the influence of anything. At that point in time, the officer is going to come up to your car. They're going to ask you for your license, your registration, your proof of insurance. And generally, they're going to start asking you some questions. Have you been drinking? Where you been? All of those things. You have a duty under South Carolina law to give them your license, give them your insurance card, to not be a particular jerk to them, or you're going to end up arrested either way. But aside from that, you don't really have to answer all of those investigatory questions. You can give them your information, and when they ask you anything else, just say, no, sir. Be polite, be kind, and potentially your stop will end there. Maybe you get a ticket, maybe you don't. But if the officer smells alcohol and has some indication of driving that they believe shows a level of impairment, they're then going to ask you out of the vehicle. Once they ask you out of that vehicle, they're going to offer you field sobriety testing. They're going to offer you the eye test, the horizontal gaze nystagmus test. They're then going to offer you a walk and turn test where you walk 9 steps down and 9 steps back, heel to toe, and you have to hold your hands a certain way, and you have to turn around a certain special way. When you think about the lights shining in your eyes, and you think about the stress of a young person or any person that gets pulled over by policemen, drug out of their car, and they're going to ask you to do these tests, then they're going to take the grades on the tests, and they're going to decide whether they think you're impaired based solely on those tests. Then they're going to lock you up, they're going to put you in handcuffs, they're going to take you to a local jail where they're going to offer you a breath test after they've arrested you, after they've checked you into the jail. And you do have an absolute right to turn down those field sobriety tests on the side of the road. You have an absolute right to turn down the breath testing. Now, you're going to get arrested, you're going to get charged with an implied consent violation for refusing to blow into that machine. But the question you have to ask yourself in any situation is, should I give the state a hammer to hit me with? Even if you're not drinking, right? If you hadn't been drinking, or if you haven't been doing drugs, and you get pulled over, and you're given these divided attention tests, is the way they're described, and you're getting a divided attention test, think about it. You're on camera. Can you stand on one leg while you point your toe forward, while your hands are stuck at your side, while you look at your toe, while you count? Can you walk a certain special way that an officer shows you for 40 seconds and do a turn that the officer showed you in 2 seconds and get back? Can you stand still with your hands by your side and allow them to run a pin across your eyes? Do you have eye problems? Do you have a nervous issue? Any of the things. There's 80 types, I think, of nystagmus that test can show. And why would you ever give somebody that information knowing that you're already under arrest and they're just going to use it against you later? If you have any questions whatsoever about your DUI charge, whether it be a drug DUI, whether it be an alcohol DUI, whether it be an Ambien DUI, whether it be you just riding around looking silly DUI, if you're arrested for DUI, give us a call. We'll happily talk to you and we'll happily guide you through this system. And we can't promise you an outcome, but we will promise you that we will put you in the best spot you can be in for your specific situation. It's what we do. Your lawyers at the beach pride themselves on helping people. It's what we do, it's what we set out to do, and it's what we hope to do forever.